Greetings, adventurers, and welcome to the Council 6. I am your host, G.A. Lungaro, and I'm thrilled to be your guide on this journey through the rich and storied history of the Forgotten Realms. As a passionate fan of Dungeons & Dragons and an experienced dungeon master, I've spent countless hours exploring the many wonders of this incredible world. From the towering spires of Waterdeep to the misty swamps of the Moonshae Isles, there's no shortage of adventure to be had. Also, in addition to our regular video content like this video here, we also host live streams of our own D&D campaign twice a week on Tuesdays and Fridays. So if you're looking for a bit of excitement and want to join us on our adventures, be sure to tune in and follow us on all our social media channels as well. And of course, if you enjoy our content, please remember to subscribe to our channel, like our videos, and share them with your fellow adventurers. Your support means the world to us, and it helps us to continue creating high-quality content for all of you. So without any further ado, let's dive into the rich and complex history of the Forgotten Realms. Welcome back to our series on the history of Toril, the worlds of Dungeons & Dragons Forgotten Realms. In the last episode, we went over the Batrachi. Click the card above to see more on them. Today, we'll be exploring in depth the history and lore of the Aearee, a race of winged humanoids who once ruled over the skies of Toril. We'll explore their society, culture, conflicts, achievement, and their eventual decline. So let's begin. The Aearee, created by the god of air Akkadi, were a race of bird-like humans with wings and talons that originally inhabited the Aearee enclaves on a massive island in the Silver Sea around -31500 DR. This island existed off the coast of Maroboros pre-Tierfall. The Aearee empires, known as Aeries, were built in home nests high atop mountain peaks and cliffs across the enclaves, living in a society that was divided into three castes: the Claw, the Fang, and the Wing. The Claw were the ruling class, the Fang were the warriors, and the Wing were the workers and servants. There's very little indication if there was a prejudicial or power imbalance structure going on as there were among the Batrachi. However, just from the history of the Aearee and their people and the way they are, nobility and being noble seem to be a very important part, so it's kind of left up in the air, but if I'm going to have my opinion, I'm going to guess the castes were not as separated by strife as they were within the Batrachi. All of these castes lived in cities built high in the mountains or cliffs with large, impressive structures made of stone and steel. The Aearee, while still advanced and powerful, did not have the same zeal for conquering and proliferation of the Saruk and the Batrachi, but rather were content with maintaining their culture and the dominion of the enclaves and other high areas of Faerun, basically anything close to the sky. They had a rich culture and deep connection to the skies. They were skilled astronomers and navigators, able to fly great distances using only the stars to guide them. Their religion was centered around Akkadi, and they worshipped her as the goddess of the wind and air. They believed that the strongest winds were a sign of Akkadi's favor, and they would often hold festivals and ceremonies to honor her. In this way, we can see the stark difference between the Aearee and their other creator races, the Saruk and the Batrachi, where there was far more spirituality involved in their culture. The Aearee rose to prominence roughly in -3100 DR, around the time of the Tierfall. During this period, the Aearee had separated to three main cultures in society within the empires: the Aearee Croca, the Aearee Siren, and the Aearee Quor. These societies established and built a few grand aeries across Faerun. The Aearee Croca founded Viaku on Mount Havaquar in the west, the Aearee Siren founded Fucri in the Star Mounts in the north, and the Aearee Quor founded Shara in the Usran Mountains. The rise of these empires, along with those of the Batrachi as described in the last video, prevented the Yuan Ti from fully claiming power the Saruk empires held before the fall. Continuing the work of their predecessors, the Saruk, the Aearee took control of what remained of the Baeth, the organization that was created in the Istafafil Empire of the Saruk to study magics of the races native to Faerun. It was primarily based out of the Hall of Mists, located in the high forest near Fucri. The studies of this group were eventually codified into the Nether Scrolls, which contained the fundamental theories of magic and became the basis of nearly all magical teaching in the world. As a creator race, the Aearee also introduced and created other various races of avian beings that exist to this day. Known for their mastery of magic and their ability to manipulate the forces of nature, they created several other species, including the Aarakocra, the Kenku, the owlbears, and, of all things, wyverns. The Aarakocra, Kenku, and owlbears played significant roles in the Aearee Empire, each in their own unique ways. The Aarakocra were created by the Aearee as scouts, messengers, and warriors. They were an intelligent and agile bird-like race with the ability to fly, making them ideal for tasks requiring speed and mobility. They also were the creations that were closest in appearance to the Aearee and almost like an offspring rather than a creation, if you will, just by how close they were genetically to the creator race. The Aearee valued their service and trained them to be highly skilled and disciplined. In the years that followed after the decline of the Aearee, the Aarakocra retreated to remote mountain cliffs and cliff faces far away from civilization. There they built their own isolated communities and continued to worship the same deities as the Aearee. Over time, their society became more focused on spiritual matters and less on the conquest and expansion that had been the Aearee's primary concern. Today, Aarakocra communities can still be found in the remote mountain ranges across Toril, and they continue to hold true to their spiritual beliefs. The Kenku were originally created by the Aearee to serve as laborers and artisans. They were a crow-like race with an innate talent for crafting and engineering. Their skills with tools and machinery was highly valued by the Aearee, who used them to build and maintain their cities and infrastructure. They were also gifted with cunning minds and the ability to be fierce survivalists. Unlike the Aarakocra, the Kenku were left without a leader or a sense of purpose after the collapse of the Aearee empires. Many Kenku turned to a life of crime, using their natural dexterity and skill with tools to become thieves and smugglers. Others, however, chose to embrace their creative and artistic talents, becoming entertainers and performers. In some parts of the world, Kenku troops are famous for their acrobatics, puppetry, and musical abilities. The owl bears were created by the Aearee as guardians and hunters. These large, powerful creatures were bred for their strength and ferocity, and were often used to protect Aearee cities and territories from threats both internal and external. They were fiercely loyal to their Aearee masters and were trained to obey their commands without question. With their formidable strength and fierce protective instincts, they were able to survive in the wilderness despite the decline of the Aearee. They became highly sought after by adventurers and hunters for their valuable pelts and meats. Owlbears have also become known for their ferocity and were often feared by humans and other civilized races. Despite this reputation, there are some who have managed to tame owlbears and even train them for use in battle. The wyverns were a more unique creation, if we would use that word. The previous three were avian species created in the image of their creators. Wyverns, on the other hand, were not creations of the Aearee per se, but rather experiments performed on landworms, the proto-dragons that appeared on Toril after Tearfall. The creation of these winged worms aided the Aearee in their rapid expansion outside of the enclaves. There were a few conflicts of note that led to the decline and eventual extinction of the Aearee. They had frequent skirmishes with the Lamassu, a race of lion-eagle hybrids. Eventually, around -300-700 DR, a number of Lamassu defeated a much larger force of Aearee from Aarakocra, killing thousands. In Aearee Core, members of the Kukri Shara Rookery fell into conflict with the Gnolls of Ungarish, around -30,400 DR. Gnoll shamans, following Yenogu, summoned Marash, evil spirits that acted as winged archers, to spread disease among the home nest. Their crops were blighted, and the Aearee suffered the wasting plague. The Aearee Core were decimated, and many of them began worshipping the demon lord Pazrael to seek salvation. Finally, around 30,000 DR, dragons all over Faerun gathered in the first Flight of the Dragons to assault the Aearee in the sky and on land, an event that would herald the end of the Days of Thunder and usher in the Dawn Age. The Aearee empires fell, as Viaku was burned from the air and Shara was conquered by the dragon general Nagamat. Following this, the remaining Aearee fled to Ankarom, an archipelago far to the northwest of the enclaves. It is a poorly known region composed of vast fertile lands and several islands. Essentially, nothing is known of their history after that point except that they eventually devolved into Aarakocra. In conclusion, the Aearee were a fascinating and noble race with a rich history and culture. They created several other races including the Aarakocra, Kenku, and owlbears. The Aearee will forever be remembered for their achievements in magic and their contribution to the development of the Nether Scrolls, which is the foundation of all magic on Toril in the present age. They built vast cities that spanned the skies and were homes to the entire civilization. However, their downfall came from what appeared to be a lot of bad luck and timing, leading to their eventual collapse and decline. Despite their downfall, the Aearee left a significant impact on the world. The races they created continue to thrive and influence the world to this day. Their ancient cities and ruins are still discovered and studied, providing valuable insights into the society and culture. The Aearee were a testament to the heights of achievement that a civilization can reach and the power of spirituality. And this closes the chapter of the Aearee. We hope this video has piqued your interest in the rich history and legends of the Forgotten Realms. Again, while you're here, please remember to hit that like button, subscribe button, and share this with your other adventuring friends so we can get more eyes on the channel so other people can learn about this stuff as well along with us. Join us for our next episode where we will begin a new chapter and explore the next stage of the history, the Dawn Age. Thank you for joining us on this journey, and until next time, so say we all.